How to analyze people through behavior and body language. In this video, you'll be able to find out why most people do what they do and how their actions are mostly driven by the 4 basic human needs. We'll also share with you what are the 2 spiritual needs that can actually fix the outcome of the behavior. And what are the 3 different things that could change those behaviors. And this will all hopefully paint a picture for why people show up the way they do sometimes. So stay with us. All right, so let's get right into this. I'm like super excited, and I believe that we're going to explain it in a way where this will make beautiful sense. And you can use this pattern wherever you go. When I first learned this pattern, I was like, that's pretty interesting. But now that I've used it for a number of years, you can see this pattern everywhere you go. So let's start by understanding that everyone has positive intent. I know that's a hard concept to grasp, and I know you might disagree with me. Hold on. Don't get super mad just yet, but everyone has positive intent. Anger a lot of times has positive intent. Conflict does. Yelling, punishing people, even people that do drugs. What was the positive intent? They were numbing themselves and trying to get to a place of less pain, right? If you look at any situation, there's typically a positive intent. That doesn't mean it was moral. That doesn't mean it was ethical, but it doesn't mean they woke up that day and said, I'm out to hurt someone today. What that means is that everybody on this earth had a thought, a desire, that was usually or at least based on a positive principle or positive outcome for themselves that drove them to a certain behavior. And if we understand what those intentions are and why it happens, we can help people and help ourselves. And so I want to introduce you to the 4 basic human needs. Number 1, certainty. That means that we have a desire to have a certain amount of consistency, safety, and predictability in our lives, like having a roof over our head. Number 2, variety. That means that sometimes humans get bored with different things and we want to change our environment, right? Number 3, humans have a need for significance. They want to feel significant, important, liked by other human beings. And number 4, human beings want to feel love and connection. The interesting thing with this pattern is that if a human being has a focus on one of those needs and doesn't get it, they will respond in a like manner. Let me give you an example. Let's say that I am walking out with my child somewhere and there is a dog that looks dangerous that starts running towards my child. What's going to happen to me? I'm going to get very upset. I'm going to get very angry, likely attack the dog and start yelling at the owner, right? And so there was nothing wrong with me getting mad, right? I have a need for certainty. I need the certainty of keeping my child safe, of protecting my child, of knowing that he or she is safe, right? That dog now poses a threat. I am now not getting the need for certainty in my life. I am going to respond in either a sad or a mad way. In this case, it's going to be a mad way. Let's use a different example. Let's say in marriage, your spouse is going through something not making you feel very special, right? And so you don't feel significant, you don't feel loved, you don't feel connected. So you now no longer have what you need. You're going to go into that same mad, sad cycle, just like you were going to go through with the dog and the child analogy. But this time, there's not a threat. It's simply that you're not getting what you need. So then you'll go into this cycle of, I'm so sad that I'm not getting enough attention from my significant other. Then you get angry, have an argument, start arguing back and forth. I'm so sorry for having the argument. I shouldn't have said that. And then you just keep going back and forth and back and forth. It all comes down to you not getting what you need. So if you don't get certainty and you need it, if you don't get significance and you need it, you don't get love and connection and you need it, you don't get variety and you need it, then you will go into what is called the sad mad cycle. And it's like this little figure 8 and you'll stay there. Now what happens with human beings is that they really can't survive there very long. Nobody wants to be angry or sad for long periods of time. The human psyche can't sustain it. So they will start to do what's called numbing. Numbing can come from working too much, from drugs, from alcohol, from smoking. It can come from too much sex. It can come from a lot of different things. It can come from anything in your life that you're using to mask the pain of the thing that you don't get. Okay? And so that's a very sad thing. Sometimes people even resort to death by suicide, which is very, very sad. Okay? So numbing is not a great option. So let's go through the options if something like this happens to you. Like, let's say you have a high level of need for certainty or significance or for love and connection. You don't get it. You go in the sad, mad cycle. You don't want to numb with drugs, alcohol, distractions, video games, eating, whatever it is, right? You want a better option. You got two other options, and they'll ascend from least ideal to the ideal as I describe them now. The next thing you could do instead of numbing is to actually get what you need, right? So if you don't have certainty, you can go get it, right? You can work harder and have more job security in your job, or you can go improve your marriage and get more certainty in your marriage. Or, and I'm not suggesting this by any means, but if you have a spouse that isn't loving you the way you want, you can get another one. I'm not recommending that. I'm just saying that that's another option. There is a better one though. There's actually two other human needs, and they're called spiritual needs. One is growth, the other one is contribution. So instead of saying, hey, my marriage isn't working, or this environment or my job or whatever that isn't supplying you with your needs, right? Instead of going to numbing, instead of replacing those things and getting more of what you perceive you need, you can focus more on need number 5 and 6, which is growth and contribution. Which means that instead of actually like freaking out and being sad about it or making drastic changes, you can literally just focus more on, hey, can I grow right now, or can I contribute to the people around me? So in the marriage example, it would be, hey, things aren't going the way I want. I feel like I'm not getting my needs, but I can start exercising, or hey, I can start reading books, or hey, I can go volunteer somewhere, or hey, I can serve my spouse regardless of what I get back, right? Focus more on needs number 5 and 6. Here's the pattern. Answer this behind the screen here. Do you have control of your certainty in life? No. Do you have control of the variety? Ultimately, no. Do you have control of who loves you? No. Do you have control of the significance that people give to you, or how significant people make you feel? No. Do you have control of how much you grow? Yes. Do you have control of how much you contribute? Yes. So once you prioritize your needs in the direction of growth and contribution and less on the other 4, now you have more of what you need, and you actually have an infinite supply. So when you analyze people, their behaviors and their body language and how they're acting, you first have to say, what is the positive intent? There has to be one. Number 2, what need are they clinging to right now, right? So let's do a quick test. So I went into Kate, my spouse, and she's also my business partner, and said, hey, I'm frustrated. LinkedIn is not doing well, not getting very many likes. The bank account's like near zero. I'm upset. I'm tipped over. I don't want to do this anymore. And so let me ask you this question. What 2 needs was I focused on? Well, number 1, certainty with the bank account. I want the certainty of having money. And number 2, significance with the LinkedIn. I'm not getting enough likes, so I'm not significant enough, right? So Kate instinctively, because she's amazing, immediately said, Jason, why did you start this business with me? And I was like, well, to help people. Are you doing that? And I'm like, of course she's wrong. But anyway, then I was like, okay, let me think about it. I started this business with you so we could change the industry. Are you doing that? Yeah. Okay. So are you actually making a difference? Yeah. Okay. So if the business, when we went out of business tomorrow, what's the worst that can happen? I go get a job. Okay, so what's wrong? And I immediately realized, oh my gosh, I'm focusing on significance and certainty, but really we started the business because of growth and contribution. As soon as I reframed and saw, oh yeah, we are making a difference. Thousands of people are getting this content. Things are going great. It's not a big deal if the business goes under tomorrow. It's not a big deal, right? So I was able to reframe and get happy, get out of that sad mad cycle, never need numbing, and not have to make any drastic changes. So the reason that this pattern is important, if you memorize the 4 basic human needs and the 6 total needs plus the spiritual needs, you will start to find patterns for why people do things, right? So if you're in a trade partner meeting and your foreman is losing his mind and he's like angry and upset and like has his arms crossed and just not having a good time, you can either say, well, this guy's an a-hole and I'm going to fight, or you can say, this individual is probably doing his best, probably has positive intent. What's making him nervous right now? Does he not feel listened to or significant? Does he not feel connected to anyone in this room? Does he not have the certainty to know that he can deliver for his company? So once you start associating behavior with these needs, you can be, oh yeah, he's afraid he's not going to make the deadline. What I'm telling him is making him nervous. Okay, John, hey, give me I hear you over there. Give me a second. Are you worried about you not being able to make the deadline and your owners at your company being upset? Well, yeah, of course I am. Okay, now we know what's going on. Now you can lean in and fix it. Now you can get rid of the, oh, he's just an a-hole thought. Now you can connect. Now you can partner. Now you can solve problems. So this is huge in our industry because we have misunderstandings all the time. All we have to do is be like, what is their positive intent? What need is it tied to? And how can I find the win-win? And so I'm going to link you to another video on one of our other channels that goes through this, and I actually draw it for you so that you can become a master at analyzing behavior and body language. I hope this helps. On we go.